my lovelies, happy Tip Tuesday. How are you all today? Well, I hope. Today I'm going to show you the various, or tonight should I say, I'm going to show you the various stages that my photographs go through when they're uploaded, when they're edited for the client, when the client chooses them, and then when they're finished and all ready for the client to print. As you can hear here, I've got you on my phone, so I know you can hear me because I can hear me, but I've got you here on my phone. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask me throughout this live, then pop them in the comments and I'll get to them, of course, as always. This live was actually inspired by Katie from Adventure Portraits, who came up last week to do a little bit of coaching, and she said to me when I showed her some of the photographs in my catalogue, "Kat, I can't believe that this is like how they're shown to the client," because she always thought that they had to be completely fully polished up, leads out, completely ready to print. Now, the reason that people often want to do that is because, of course, as a creative, you want to show the clients your best work. But from the client's point of view, they only really want to see, they want you to do a good job for them, but they just want to see their dog looking cute. So if you can explain to them that, hey, part of my workflow is I'll do the basic adjustments, but the major Photoshop work I'll do afterwards, after you've chosen what you actually want, they totally get that. They understand that it's time-consuming work, and there's no point doing work on something that, might not even ever go to print. So, and the caveat to that is as well, sometimes, because my standard is I'll edit fully 2 photographs, usually the first and usually the last in the show. Sometimes it varies, but sometimes I'll think, oh my god, I really want to do this shot. I really love this shot. I'm particularly taken with it, and I've already done the ones I want to use. It's my first and my last, and I'll do that. But I know that that's for me. I don't have to do that. You're kind of doing that off of your own back. And I'll also do pictures sometimes if I think that's going to be a really hard photograph for my client to understand if I don't take those elements out. So like a lead or a bit of arm, they can kind of imagine not being there. But if it's like a whole, like if there's loads of people completely blocking the scene and you've got this gorgeous view but you can't see it because they're in the way, then yes, you're probably going to have to take them out in order for them to see your visions. But when it comes to sort of stylistic things, then show them a couple of examples. This is how your picture's going to look, and then they get it, they understand. So let me show you how I present. This is my files when they're uploaded straight from my camera. So I upload them using Lightroom. Now this is a bit of a mini session, so it's probably about half the size that a session would be normally, but it gives you an idea. So they're all uploaded, and you can see these ones are grayed out. Now, when I go through my first selection, I will reject. So I'll pop a little flag to reject those files, and that means I'm not deleting them right off the bat, but that means I can then bring up in my Lightroom catalog, and I really recommend you use Lightroom if you don't, because it is an amazing tool. I use it both to edit and to present back to my clients. So then these are the pictures that I know I'm going to be working with before I present them back. I've got pictures that are flagged that I'm like, yes, they're go-tos. They're possibly ones I'm going to use as lead pictures. And then the rest, I've got the reference photos. So I've got bits to take out the human arms, etc. But they're basically ready to go. So that's phase 1. The next phase is what I actually show to the client. This is quite a big show. I usually show my clients around about 20 pictures. This show has got 34. We did go on a little bit of a hike. We went to find this waterfall. We found it. This is the raw file here. We found it. I was happy. We had quite an adventure. Went all around these woods, all around these ruins. So yeah, we did take quite a lot on that session. But this show, I've taken out the leads and the human elements on the first and on the last. And again, with this one, I've worked it up to the point that it will be ready to publish, ready to send to print. So the original frame of this has had Lightroom adjustments, by the way. So let me just give you some context here. I'll take off the Lightroom adjustment so you can see how it started out. So that's how it came out, as a raw file straight out of camera. Then I do my Lightroom adjustments. And then I've used all of these files here You can see here there's quite an array, or perhaps a selection of them. I don't know if I used everyone, but I used pieces from those files, and you can see here Michael's lighting the wall in different ways just to make sure that light is cast in a way that looks even all the way around. And I stitched those all together to create that final photograph. And I do this quite a lot in my work. I'll use not just only the picture of the dog, but I'll use other frames to either build the scene and create almost like a medium format look, or to extend the photograph while still keeping that nice depth of field, and also to remove the lead so that they can be kept nice and safely in space in the spot that I want them in. And you know, they're not running off, you're not calling the back and forth thing or anything like that. So that's the point that the client views them at. Let's just collapse this actually so we can see. So they've had a few tweaks on them, and then my client will select these with me in Lightroom. So this particular client selected an album. These are all the pictures that are now ready to be edited, and I'll take out all the human elements, zhuzh them up, and then I'll send those off to print. So the point that they end up at once they actually go to print is rather like this. So this is the point when they've all been polished up. I've taken out the leads, taken out the human elements, and they're all good to go. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an insight that you don't have to go the whole hog. You know, you can spend hours and hours and hours editing something up when it's not necessarily necessary. You know, your client doesn't need to see the full finished edit. I mean, so this show, you know, could take me the best part of a day to actually finish. Whereas if my client had only decided to have like one hero piece and then maybe a couple on either side, I wouldn't need to edit up all 27 pictures. But as she'd gone for a digital package and an album, then it does become more necessary. So when you're working through your pictures, bear that in mind. You know, make sure that they're at a point that's presentable. Balance up the colors, make sure they're correctly exposed. You know, you can do a few tweaks. I'll often sparkle up the eyes, but again, usually working in Lightroom. But, you know, make sure you're conservative with your time, because if you've got 5 shows to do that week, you know, that's and you're doing those every single day, that's the whole entire week gone. And as you know, if you're a business owner yourself, you're wearing many hats, so that's not a practical way to go about things. If you guys have got any questions regarding that, then feel free to pop that in the comments. I've just got off a call from AIM, Animal Image Makers Conference this evening, and we're talking about we're doing a branding workshop with them over there in Minneapolis, 12th of April. Very excited. And I'm also closing the conference with a mindset talk. So I hope I'm going to give everybody lots of positive vibes to go home with. I'm going to be talking about how we can adjust our mindset from this negative bias that we all lean towards, which, by the way, isn't our fault. It's something that we've been born with. You know, over millions of years we have developed this negative bias as a survival mechanism more than anything, and I'm going to talk about how to turn it towards a growth mindset. But adopting this growth mindset allows us to look for opportunities and take them. So rather than focusing on like a bad thing that's happened, or, you know, constantly being on the lookout for danger, being like ready to take on a challenge. Yes, I can do this. You know, I might not have been good at it before, but I know that I can learn and I will get better at this in the future. So that's what I'm going to be covering at the conference. I'm really excited. If you're going to AIM, please let me know in the comments. Happy Go Doggy Photography says, do you delete the rest after clients selected what they want? Where do you store the images? That's a good question about storage, because we're having a little bit of a move with the storage at the minute. But yes, so the photographs, I delete all the pictures that I reject. Now you'll see in my folders that I stack my pictures quite a lot. So let me just share my screen again. So yeah, you can see here that I commonly stack my pictures. So like here I've got like 27 pictures, but behind each picture is all of the files that made up that picture. So I've got like different heads that I've used, different skies. So I kind of know when I'm editing bits that I might need or things I might need to take from that particular picture, and I'll keep hold of those and I'll stack them. The reason I stack them, and stacking, by the way, is when you hide them behind, you hide lots of pictures behind one lead picture in Lightroom. And the advantage of doing that is it just keeps it nice and tidy. It means you've not got to look through loads and loads of these like reference photos when you just really want to look at the main picture. So that's how I organize my catalog. So I keep all those, but I delete everything else, everything I know I'm not going to use. So like missed shots, like missed expression, blurry shots, anything like that. In terms of the photographs that clients don't choose, I pop them all on my server. Now we're moving servers at the minute, because this is, I think it's 15 terabyte 15 terabytes worth of storage we've got on this server, and we've only got about 3 terabytes left, so that's soon going to disappear. So all down here I've got then all my client archives are all down here. I started this system around about 2016, about 3 years into business, and then I think I'm going to have a folder here that's 2013 to 2017. So I think that's just, there's a little bit of disorganization happening from 2016 to 2017 by the sounds of it. But yeah, they basically then live in each year in each folder, and I can just store them away in there. Ross Campbell Photography says, I remember you talking about this previously, and I implemented this in a way myself, only editing a few fully and then letting the clients choose from there. It saved me so much editing. Yeah, excellent. You've implemented today's Tip Tuesday before today's Tip Tuesday was even released. Well done, Ross. So yeah, that I'm really happy that you've implemented that, and that's helped you in your business, helped you with your time. Time's so precious to us. And you know, I think it's okay if you want, like I said before, it's okay if you want to go ahead and edit up a picture because you're particularly attached to it and want to do something with it. That's cool, but don't feel like you have to do everything, because you know, we haven't got that much time. It's so time consuming editing photographs, especially if you're taking them to like perfection, print ready level. When you're just looking at them and selecting, you don't need them to that level. I do think clients need a little bit of help, like they wouldn't be able to choose from raw files, for example. If you just showed them, hey, here's 500 raw files, they would find that really hard to then select the handful they want to put in an album or on the wall, for example. But if you can then make that selection, do that little bit of polishing up, whatever it is you need to do, particularly, you know, exposure, color balance, and sharpening, that kind of thing, then yeah, they're good with that. They can look at your other work, and they can look at the work that you've done for their other pictures and get an idea about what you're going to do next. Thank you, Kat says, happy go doggy photography. You are most welcome, my lovely, anytime. If you haven't already, you can watch this week's Tip Tuesday on YouTube, and that was about framing. So I really dived into detailed different ways that you can frame your photographs with some examples, and I went over some of the mistakes I've made so that you can avoid making them. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you do find them useful, please let me know in the comments. I've been having issues with my hair. I don't know if you've noticed, I've got blonde roots right now. I'm not a natural blonde. My natural hair is kind of more like my eyebrows. On a side note, I would love to dye my eyebrows pink. How cool would that be? But I don't think you're supposed to put peroxide near your eyes. But anyway, yeah, so my issue with my hair has been because when I wash my hair, the blue and the pink tend to get mushed together a little bit. I do try and wash it separately, but sometimes, you know, the blue goes over to the pink side. And because this is a much lighter color, the blue ends up taking on some of the pink ends up taking on some of the blue. So the blue hair's been like moving over this side, and my parting's just gradually kind of started going over here. Like if you ever look on some of my older videos on Instagram, you can see that the parting just starts to move across a little bit. So me and my hairdresser have been agonizing on what to do, and basically I need to let, you can see it's already fading, but I basically need to let the blue bits just fade out a little bit. So rather than giving myself more blue roots, which is just going to combine the problem, it's going to compound the problem, we've decided to not bleach the roots this time. Not colour the roots this time. So it looks like a natural blonde. And then next time, hopefully we'll be able to move that blue that's already disappearing into the pink over here back on the side that it should be, and have a more equal parting. That's the plan anyway. By the time I go over to America in April, I hope to have a centre parting again. Half pink and half blue. High maintenance, my hair. Thank you for joining me on this week's Tip Tuesday. If you found this useful, then please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss my next tip video with all things dog photography related. If there's a particular way that you cull your photographs or you present your photographs back, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Let's share those ideas and help each other out. Other than that, I will see you next week for another tip video. Take care and be kind to each other. Bye.